after the show.
Is it like a behind the scenes shit?
Well, I mean, it's about that whole thing about next year. Unless you guys want everybody to know about that.
No, let's chill on that. Just don't forget to say it after the show. All right, motherfuckers. Welcome. We are the Keyboard Warriors, presented by RepTheWarriors.com. My name's Eddie Law. That's Fred Kirby. That's Jesse Bacala. And just like everybody else, like you guys are, we're talking Jon fucking Jones and this UFC 232 fucking craziness, right? So obviously you guys already know the test that came back. They moved 232 to California. Fuck, I just read like maybe a couple hours ago that Herb Dean is injured and can't ref at 232. So Mike Beltran, the guy with the long ass fucking braided beard, he's stepping in. Like, man, what isn't gonna? Yeah. What isn't
say
gonna?
That our ref is injured.
He's injured. That's what he said. That's what they're saying.
So, goddamn cards getting off to a shaky start, boys.
I'm telling you, what's not gonna happen before Saturday? We're fucking days away. Like, yo. Anyway, all right, Jesse. So you and I and Fred were talking about the whole Jon Jones thing. So
right.
To me, there's just so much information out there now that it's such a confusing topic to talk about that it's like everyone's wrong, everyone's full of shit. What do you think about this whole thing?
Well, I would like to get your guys' kind of take on it because, like I said, I did as deep of a dive as possible. You know, I contacted a friend who kind of does or understands this whole stuff better than I would. And, you know, the way he explained it to me kind of made sense to me in relation to what Nowitzki's talking about. And what he's talking about is that you can test one sample and it'll be clean, and the next one it'll come up as these pictograms, you know. And it's because, as I was explaining to you guys, and as Fred is saying, it's hard to wrap your head around how small a pictogram is, and for them to say that it is the lowest size that you can like basically test for. So this is like the bare minimum, you know, size that they find. Anything lower than this, it's nothing. So it could fluctuate so much. Yet, and I'm gonna ask Fred this question, the same I asked Eddie. If I were to put a gun to your head and say you're wrong, I blow your brains out, what answer would you give me? Is Jon Jones a cheater, or is he just unlucky?
This time around,
here we go.
I think the cute cocksucker is unlucky. I've been calling Jon Jones a cheater on this podcast for a month of fucking Sundays. And when he tested positive for the fucking Tyrannoball, well, it is what it is. He fucking tested positive. You fucking got caught cheating. You got caught with your hand in the cookie jar, no matter how you cut the fucking cake. This goddamn fucking pictogram bullshit right here, different fucking story. I'm telling you, Jack, I heard that a motherfucking pictogram was a goddamn it if you took a grain of salt and split it into 50 million pieces. Now I want everybody out there to just take a fucking goddamn second and stop and think about that for just a moment. Y'all know how big a fucking grain of salt is? I even think you can split a grain of salt into 50 million pieces. Quite frankly, I don't even think I can split a grain of salt into 7 different pieces. What in the fuck are we talking about? 50 million pieces of a grain of fucking salt? Let me ask you a question. Would you lick some shit that was that small? Because I would. I could probably eat 32 pictograms of straight dog shit. That's how minuscule this amount is. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like 50 million pieces and it makes a grain of salt? What the fuck? I've probably got that much heroin in my system right now because of all the pot I smoke. Like, that's insanity. Like, I don't even understand that number, really. Like, 50 million of a grain of salt's crazy to me. And it's so crazy that they ain't even call it like a failed drug test. It was atypical. I ain't never heard of no bullshit like this. I hadn't heard a lot of bullshit in my days with this whole USADA, all the drug testing, this, that. I ain't never heard some shit being atypical. I don't even know what the fuck that means. And then California went right back and was like, yeah, we'll take the fight. So, like, let me ask y'all something. If you think Jones had pissed hot, straight hot, Tyrannoball again, like straight up, you think California's taking that fucking fight? Or they're like, sorry, bro.
Well, obviously not if it's a failed test, because then he can't get licensed. But
they can license him though. Every athletic division can do whatever the fuck they want to do. The point is, most people take their cue from Nevada, and California does too. But in this case, they were like, "Yo, even we know that's low key some jive talk, right? Like, pictogram my ass, Jack. We'll take the Jon Jones fight. Like he didn't. If he would have for real pissed hot, they wouldn't have took it. This was so minuscule that even Callie was like, "A what? A picto who? Yeah, fuck it. Like that's not enough to scare us off the boat. We don't give a fuck what Vegas says. Sorry."
No, go ahead. No, I was gonna ask Fred. So, what do you think if because they had Jon Jones enroll in VADA? What do you think happens to California's credibility if it comes back that he pops for something else, or that number goes higher?
I mean, nothing, because as of right now, when they made the decision, it was a goddamn pictogram. Like, if the shit blows up, or if all of a sudden he ends up having HGH or whatever the fuck in his, like, as of right now, when we're making the decision, we don't know that. So in hindsight, will it look good? Of course not. But as of right now, if we're looking at the facts and y'all are telling me the facts, the fact is he had a pictogram in his system, and we just tested this motherfucker again, and he didn't even have that pictogram there no more. Like, yo, it's literally such a small percentage. Could it have just been a mistake? Like, I don't even understand it. And then what? Like, Callie tested him 6 days later, and it wasn't even in his system. What in the fuck is going on? And then I've seen so many people on Twitter, the biggest cheater of all time. Will you guys sit down and shut the fuck up? I hate Jon Jones too, but what are we talking about here? Like, okay, so let me throw a question at y'all. What do y'all think happened? Do you really think that Jon Jones is that fucking stupid that he's still doing Tyrannoball? All this, like, come on, right? There's no way he's that, like, even the first time, all that bullshit that, like, the test, they're like, there's no way he could have been that stupid because it wasn't in his system, boom, boom, boom. There's no way, right, at this point, that he's still that fucking stupid, like, right? He would have at least picked a different fucking narcotic, right? I mean, come the fuck on.
Well, if he's confident enough that he won't get caught.
Right.
But he got caught. What the fuck? He didn't get away with it the first time.
He kind of did, because he didn't get a full 2-year suspension.
Man, either way, though, he knows they caught him, though, dog. Like, there's no way he's that fucking stupid.
Fred, let me ask you, how many kids, how many, like, people go to their drug dealer and he gives them some real crap ass weed and he's selling it as, oh, this is the best stuff. This is the best stuff. They go home, they smoke the whole thing. They're like, damn, this thing didn't even get me high. They go back and the drug dealer is going to be like, no. See, that wasn't, that was just an anomaly, blah, blah, blah. I got you. This time it's going to get you really high. Don't you think that the person, because we're talking about if he's microdosing, if he's doing any of this stuff, he's spending a lot of money and he's putting a lot of trust in somebody that really knows the chemistry. That means that person, once he got popped, you know damn well Jon Jones went back to him and was like, hey, what the hell? And this guy's probably like, dude, you know what? I got you. Don't worry. Promise it's never going to happen again. Just keep doing what you're doing. You know, we're gonna skate on by this because it's not Tyrannoball in your system. It's a metabolite. You know, we can play it off as it was somehow got in your system. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can be sold the same bag of goods a second time, not a third time, but a second time you definitely could.
But I don't know. Listen, I don't buy the dick pill bullshit. So for all of me, this is the third time. Like, I don't know, dog. And there is such a minute amount, like such a crazy fucking minute amount. And believe me, all you cock smokers out there going, yeah, I'm taking up for Jon Jones, suck my dick. Last thing I'm trying to do is shoot Jon Jones some bail. I'm just trying to call it like I see it. That's a crazy amount. They literally brought out a unit of measure I ain't never even heard of. I've been around drugs my whole life, Jack. I ain't never heard of a picogram. Half grams, quarter grams, 16ths, nickels, goddamn dimes, quarters. I ain't never heard of a fucking picogram. Like, it's
chemistry shit right there.
Insanity. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. So what do y'all think happened? Y'all think he was microdosing?
I think he was.
Really?
You got all that money to do it. Why not do it? Look, there's masking agents that are created all the time. Fucking dudes like Victor Conte are always creating shit. I'm saying it's possible that he's microdosing, right? Because you mask it. USADA comes up with a more sensitive test. They're trying to get ahead of the ball too, and one happens to pop. You know what I mean? Like, look, I'm saying it's possible.
In his career, like, yeah, after all this.
Dude, okay, remember when he fucking ran into wrapped his fucking Bentley around a tree with 2 hookers in it? Okay. We thought, wow, that's stupid. Yeah, he'll grow from this. And then he hit a fucking pregnant chick when he was driving all fucked up.
Don't do that.
Came back, listen, ran
Don't
off.
do that.
Listen, relax, okay? Came back for his fucking bull and then ran away. And we're like, he's gonna go from this. He's gonna go from this. Then he pops twice. At that point, you're like, okay, can this be coincidence that many fucking times with a one fucking guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not. Look, I am not like well versed enough in pictograms and fucking steroids for shit. The one guy in the MMA world that fucking was an expert at that shit. Turns out he was fiddling little fucking, or he's like fucking working with some fucking little chop porn bullshit. So he's fucking gone. We can't ask that dickhead.
Yeah, okay? So all his fucking credibility goes right out the goddamn
out the window. So yeah, so even if he was available, we couldn't ask him. So he'd be totally out. Okay. But I don't know enough to fucking tell you right now. He's for sure fucking cheating. Okay. But fool me once, fool me twice, and the third time, come on, dog. Okay.
Okay.
That being said, just real quick, I'm not mad the fight's still going down. I mean, y'all don't want to see it? I don't want to see it.
Well, of course, look, of course we'll get to that in a moment. That's a different conversation. Of course we don't want to see the fight.
Right.
That's not fair though.
Okay.
I don't think his incidences have. I separate the steroid shit and the whores and the coke.
Fair enough.
Like, I literally do. Like I don't the whores and the coke. So what, man? You're fucking the heavyweight champ. Like I don't. That doesn't really surprise me. And,
right.
You know, hitting a pregnant lady. All you fucking sensitive ass, pussy ass motherfucker. Y'all act like he knew she was pregnant. God damn, get off my dick. I was getting fucked up. I wrecked. Damn, oops, it's a pregnant lady. I feel horrible about that. What am I supposed to do? Say a prayer? I'm trying to get the fuck out of there. Shit went south. Like, he didn't know. He didn't willingly run over a fucking pregnant lady, man. Like, he was getting fucked up. He wrecked.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario. Now, is he unlucky? He's an unlucky prick. I'll give you that. Like, of course she's pregnant and she breaks her arm. He didn't know that, man. That shit is him being young and stupid. Now, this new steroid shit, that's a different thing. The dick pills, motherfucker, okay, fair. Like, we're in such a bad steroid culture these days that you flat get one. And then he had the second one. That's when I turned on him. Like, real shit, y'all know. Like, when that happened, I'm like, okay, fuck it. Like, I don't even really consider that dude in the GO conversation no more. But this situation just seems a little different. It seems like such a small amount. California is willing to take the fight. He didn't even test positive the second time. Could he be microdosing? I suppose it's possible. But I don't know, man. At what point is the juice not worth the squeeze with something like that? Like, you're still microdosing? Like, do you have that little comp? Like, if that's the case, and I'm not saying, I don't think it is, but if that is the case, then Jon Jones is really never the man that we thought he was. Like, because if he just, at this point, if he's still microdosing, that means he has no belief in himself without the stuff. That means he feels like he had, because this is a fucking major, at this point, bro, your fucking career is hanging by a cut hair. Yeah. And if you're still taking anything, you got fucking stones the size of brass barrels on you, dog.
I think the only reason I brought up the other stuff is because it's just like kind of like a history of reckless behavior. Like, I would say that after getting popped the first time and let's say the second time too, that getting popped a third time is pretty fucking reckless and stupid, right? I think that's the only reason I brought the other stuff up. But I get what you're saying. I mean, goddamn, you have to be a fucking imbecile to keep it going like that.
That's why I almost give him the credit, because it's like I just can't think he's that stupid to still be microdosing at this point, when literally, bro, one thing wrong and your career's over. It probably low-key should have been over. The haters out there are already mad that you coming back this early.
Right.
And like, what the fuck, dude?
Well, Fred, what about this though? Think about the fact that I agree with Eddie. It's not just a sign of immaturity. It's also a sign of bad decision making. You know, you also have to think about, he's the same guy that was doing blow and partying it up a week before a fight, a major fight, proven, where he didn't even take the guy seriously. You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of great fighters have done that shit though. A lot of great fighters take fights off. Look at Chuck Liddell; he's notorious for getting drunk and fucking whores in his heyday. Like that doesn't surprise me. So, and he was the youngest heavyweight champion or light heavyweight champion. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not surprised by that.
You're right. It's not surprising, but it's also like it leads to it's kind of like a tell of the tape of this is the type of guy that if you give him an opportunity to get an edge over everybody else, even though he might already have an edge, just to guarantee that edge, this is the type of guy that would be like, yeah, I'll do that. Means I don't have to work as hard. All right, let's do it. Easy money, right? That's the type of guy that would fall victim to that opportunity. Now, I'm not saying that he is the guy. And like I said with Eddie earlier, if he put a gun to my head, I would probably, I would do the most, the one that has the highest percentage, which he's probably microdosing. Not saying he is, but just the fact that this has happened. And I think someone pointed out that he actually tested lower pictograms when he got popped initially than now. Now they were higher pictograms. I think someone on Twitter, I was trying to verify what his levels were when he got popped last year, and I couldn't find it, but somebody said that it was actually lower than it was this time. So this time it was higher. You know what I'm saying?
Really? If that's true, goddamn.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that, and that is weird. If that's true, then this is all just chaos, though. Because if that's the case, then why didn't he fail this drug? Why is this one atypical and he failed the first one?
Yeah, no. Let me.
Here's the thing. You go by what Mir is saying. Okay, you look at what Frank Mir is saying. How he was told that it should be out of your system in a certain amount of time, and after that, it doesn't even matter. And I understand Frank Mir is upset that his career basically took a nosedive. He had to take 2 years, away from the sport, and now he's fighting Javi Ayala and getting, his freaking job.
Damn, that was sad.
Understandably, he's gonna be upset over the fact that Jon Jones is getting, popped for the same amount of levels, and he's getting basically everything moved over to a different state just so he could fight. Now, but the other thing is that Frank Mir, what was it, like 3 years ago is when he popped? 2 years ago? So, like Eddie and I were saying earlier before you joined up, Fred, the testing has gotten so much better. Before, we didn't hear about pictograms and stuff, right? It was like nanograms or whatever. It was a different measure, and now it's gotten more and more precise. Now, does that mean that we're able to detect these all this stuff now farther out? Because now they're saying that it's between 12 and 18 months that they can still detect these things. And the other thing is too, as Fred alluded to, every single step of this process has to be handled by a person. Even though a machine does a lot of the analyzing and stuff, a person has to be present every single step of the way to make sure this process is done. So human error is always an issue. Someone could fall asleep, someone could sneeze, someone could do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always these so many variables in this whole situation. The only thing that doesn't make sense to me, and what I was pointing out to Eddie, I forgot who pointed out, 11 days is how long they did the test, investigation, and and then came out with the results. 11 days. When on average, I think they pointed out it was like 25 days average for any of this stuff to happen before. Now we don't know who's popping, who's not popping, because now they're not, saying anything. But 11 days is pretty damn quick, a turnaround.
Yeah, there we go. Let me catch up on the YouTube comment here. By the way, shout out to Lemon and Raider who are in the comment section here. Lemon says, "I'm about to smoke a pictogram of weed," and then Joey Tremendous says, "Jones is a cheater. I don't want to hear any bullshit about salt." Which Lemon says, "Mix a piece of salt with water and you got loads of pictograms." So that's a good point. That thing's funny. What else? Oh fuck! There's I don't buy the story. I don't buy the story or the story that it could just turn up forever. It's very convenient, says Lemon. That's a good point. They did say they don't know how long it could be in the, because they went from 50 days to like 5 months, and now we're at 18 months, and then now they're saying it could potentially be in the system forever. I'm like,
what the fuck does that What the fuck does that mean?
Exactly.
I mean, bro, I am not trying, all jokes aside, I'm not trying to shoot Jon Jones no bell, but like,
right.
Bro, they're literally saying it could be there forever. y'all suck my dick with that. Like, I'm not
Right?
going through this shit for the next fucking 3-5 years. Every time y'all, there's a couple more pictogram. Man, pictogram these nuts. When y'all
Well,
get a quarter of a gram, y'all get something worth busting me over. Come holler at me. But like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Here's the problem, Fred. It's a synthetic material that he introduced into his body, whether it was by accident, whether it was on purpose, right? And your body is not used to this chemical that's in there. So what it does, it has to convert it into something else, break it down, and then as it's able to break it down and, you know, basically get rid of it, okay? So it's not a fast process. And the thing is that there's not enough study done to be able to see the long-term effects. The only thing they can do is make a test to be able to detect it. And the test can get better and better and better to detect it in lower and lower, you know, sizes, you know, pictogram, nano, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So they could get better at detecting it. But that doesn't mean that they are analyzing how long it's in your system. All they're saying is like, well, it's there, so obviously you did something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, listen, I hear you, but if I'm Jon Jones, kiss my ass. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that fucking figure it out?
Cheat my ass off, because now they've given me the free reign of saying, well, it could be in your system forever. And now I can be like, well, hey, it's 10.
Like at this point, if I'm going to be late, I might as well be real late, right? Like, fuck, I'm going to be late forever. So
exactly. I guess someone tweeted out, Jon Jones has posted on Instagram that he's going to be at the lobby of the MGM Grand at 7 p.m. Pacific time tonight. So he's there now.
Right.
And to meet anyone and sign anything, it's his way of giving back to those who traveled to Vegas for 232. And their responses are great. One guy goes, will you sign my middle finger? And another guy goes, there was a line when Jon Jones showed up, but it quickly disappeared when Jones snorted it.
That's cute.
Savage.
You know, I will say this. On that note, I also just seen I think it was Junkie just tweeted out and said that Jones spent most of the day apologizing to fighters on the card. Sure. I'll tell you something, Jack. Of course, Jon Jones or none of his fucking coke snorting compadres will ever find this video. But if they did, let me give y'all some invaluable advice. Don't apologize. Run with this.
Own it.
Like, run with it. At this point, it's time to be the bad guy.
Just be that guy.
Fuck it. Run with it. Listen, nobody likes Floyd Mayweather. Newsflash. Nobody likes that short little cocksucker. We all hate him. He's the biggest selling draw on pay-per-view because everybody wants to see him get shut the fuck up. Jon Jones is Floyd Mayweather, except he hasn't found the way to really embrace his inner cuntiness yet. He's undefeated. He's bad. He's brash. He's cocky. He's arrogant. And fuck it. Let's start. He's black. Gives the white people all the fucking white people probably sitting around just fuming about Jon Jones right now. He's fucking our women. It's a good thing. This is a good, you want to play up this angle. Fuck that. Don't apologize. Suck my dick. This is my car. Oh, why don't we just cancel? You can't cancel the car because I'm Jon motherfucking Jones. Without me, this card is shite. That's why Michael Chiesa. God damn it. All you shitbirds on the undercard. If I go, this whole card's over. Newsflash, motherfuckers. I'm the man. Me, not y'all.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I get that point, but don't you think that it shows a little bit of his character that, or at least whoever is his PR person, that at least he's trying to seem like he's innocent in all this, right? He's going out there, he's trying to engage the fans. He even asked the fans earlier, I think it was today, what walkout song to come out to, which was stupid of him because
I thought he was trolling.
Everybody was, you know, what was it? Oops, I did it again. You know, all kinds of just. Really
I sent him Dennis Leary, asshole. I'm just fucking go with it, dude.
Oh my mama! If that motherfucker comes out to "Oops, I did it again," I'm gonna be a Jon Jones fan.
If he comes out to "I'm in love with the coke," I'll be a Jon Jones fan.
Swear to God, if he plays that, he comes out with a song like that, I swear to God, if he just owns this shit and becomes our Floyd Mayweather, I'll like him with the black hat. Fuck it. Cheat, bang whores, just own it. Don't apologize. Tell us all to suck your snake and fucking kick ass, and I'll go on continuing loving to hate you and caring about what you do for the rest of your career.
But people will fucking watch and pay to watch you. Jen on Twitter says Turinabol is taken during weight cut and leading up to specifically because helps maintain strength. Timing is spot on for that. And then she says, "Are you forgetting he cut a deal to basically be a snitch?"
No,
I didn't forget that, but you know,
being a snitch and being stupid are kind of not the same thing at all. Being a snitch just shows that he understands self-preservation. Now his integrity shit, but snitches know how to survive. It's hard motherfuckers that go to prison and they wither away in there. Like
hard
that's my point. I find it hard to believe he would do all this and then still risk it with microdosing. And believe me, again, I'm not trying to make no excuses for this motherfucker. That just seems so unlikely, and the amount they found seems so small. It's like, what would he possibly be doing this for? I mean, to maintain strength during a weight cut, bro. You realize that your fucking whole life and career is hanging by a cunt hair, and you're fucking adding flame to that shit. Like, what the fuck?
Raider says, "Dig the sweatshirt, Fred." I got mine. Yeah, I got mine in the mail too. I meant to wear it today. I just completely fucking spaced. I'll wear it the next show. Given surname says masking agent, which is what I was saying too. I was like, masking agent is very possible in that. Raider says, "Bro, he's a fuck up." Yes, he's a fuck up, but you know, if he owns it, why not?
Is this his fault though? I mean, do we? So straight up and down, what do we think happened? Do we think that he took Turinabol again after all this? Do you think that that's what's happening? He's literally microdosing, or is this? It can't be left over from a year, or can it be? Like
it can. According to USADA, it can.
Okay, so there we go. Everybody in the fucking comments that's watching this right now too. What do y'all think happened? Enough with if we're going to throw out crazy accusations, let's nail it down. Put your fucking what do you think happened? Do you think that Jon has been taking this shit the whole time and he's just literally juggling fireballs at this point, thinking, yeah, we'll see. Like, even though I know if anything goes wrong at this point, I've already been caught twice. Everybody's already looking at me. It just seems like the fucking dumbest thing in the world, man. I'm not necessarily putting it past him, but I just feel like it deserves some serious thought before we're just like biggest cheater in sports, man. But we got fucks like Barry Bonds running around like his head changing sizes and shit. Like, hold on.
I can't wait to bring up this clip next year or in a couple weeks when Jon Jones sells again.
Do you think he will?
You know what? I don't think so, because like Fred said, I think he's not stupid enough to fail again, knowing that he got off once. But if he does, boy, is everything just everything's gonna fall apart for that guy.
Man, him failing that last test totally fucked that head kick. Well, that basically the TKO he got Daniel Cormier on. That never happened as far as the record goes. You know what I mean?
Well,
it fucking sucks.
Unless you ask DC, because I'm sure he wakes up in the middle of the night with that, you know, from a nightmare.
Right. But as far as the record goes, you know, Lemon says USADA and UFC would never cut him though. So, and then Raider says, okay, but USADA is really UFC to me because they're the same basically. They work together. Given surname says he kept taking his designer shit that has a built-in masking agent, which is possible. Like Jesse said, his Connect told him it would work. Only a tiny trace is detectable. That's why it came up so small. It's a good theory. It's a solid theory, honestly. Raider says, and Andy Foster is so deep into proclaiming Jon Jones' innocence, he can't back down now. That's a point that I was thinking of too. Is if you're CSAC, you got to stay. But you just give him a temporary license before this shit came out, right? So maybe Jon Jones is like, fuck it. Let's see if Nevada will license me too. And if they don't,
but hold on though, man. I swear to God, man.
Right, that's going a little far. I know. I understand that. It's going a little far.
With this conspiracy shit. Jon Jones ain't even a draw like that. Not like he ain't fucking Conor McGregor, dog. Like, I don't think athletic commissions are bending their integrity for Jon Jones. This isn't Conor or Floyd. I mean, I'll give you that, but y'all really think like motherfuckers are out here breaking rules for Jon Jones versus Gustafsson?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, dog.
Fred, so then why didn't the UFC just like postpone that fight and then just move on with the card?
Well, don't be an asshole. This is their end of the. This is the end. You know why they didn't do that. Now, look, Jon Jones is not Connor, but he is a star, and this is their end of the year show, and they have zero else lined up. They've already canceled one at the beginning of the year. You know what time it is. They can't cancel this fucking show, and they do need Jon. I'm saying, as far as the athletic commissions and shit go, are they really like that worried that Jon will never fight there again? Like, I don't feel like he's a Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor type character.
Right. Let me ask you this though, guys. Seeing as how Jon Jones is over there apologizing, don't you think the UFC should also take a share of the blame here and be out there kind of doing some good PR work? Seeing as how their reputation is kind of screwed right now with all the people on Twitter posting up, 7 to 10 days, you'll get your money back from all the money you paid for your ticket.
Yeah.
Now all the travel that you got, the hotel you got in Las Vegas, hey, we're sorry, but you can buy a ticket earlier than everybody else for the LA card.
Now listen, this is where the conversation gets interesting, right? Because we can argue or debate picto fucking grams and how stupid he is, whether he did or he didn't. But once we're here and the venue has to be changed and the fans do take it in the ass like this isn't debatable. They are. If I'm a fan, I'm flying in from fucking Green Bay, Wisconsin or whatever the fuck, and I've been saving my money all year for this big end of the year UFC event. I'm fucked in the ass. And it's the UFC's deal. Like, Jon and the pictogram and how all that shit shook out is a different story from the UFC deciding to switch it and then giving the fans pretty much zero options. Now, look, I'm not saying I know what they should do. I don't run a multi-billion-dollar fucking industry or business. I don't know. But they probably need to throw a bone out there of some kind.
Something.
Charter a jet. I mean, they're going to put out some money regardless, but they need to put out some bread to try to generate some goodwill with their fan base here. The UFC does need that because there is no debating that the fans for this card are fucking taking it, up the tailpipe.
Badly.
Can I ask you guys a question here? Now, I know how I would have resolved this problem, and let's see if how creative you guys can get. But let's say this falls on your lap. You're Dana White, you're Endeavor, whatever, on Sunday, and you guys got to make a decision on how to move forward and approach this. Well, let's start with Eddie. Eddie, how would you have handled this situation to make it to where the fans aren't trying to kill you when they see you next time?
On Sunday, you mean when they announce this thing?
Yeah.
I pulled Jones. Off the numbers. Okay, think of it this way. We already know, let's just go on stupid numbers, okay? The Forum is smaller than T-Mobile Arena. They're going to lose a ton on the gate, right?
Between
you got
7 and 8 million, I believe.
They're losing a ton of money on the gate, okay? So what are you doing if you make this move to California? You're betting on Jon Jones being a draw. Now, did this controversy make him a draw? Debatable. It's very possible, right? You might get more people watching now because of this controversy than we're going to in the beginning, right? But the logistics, you paid to hold the date T-Mobile, and now you have to call in and pay to get the date at the Forum. Now you got to move all your shit over there. You got to get all your personnel over there. You got where I'm going with this, right? It's just the numbers don't make sense. I would have pulled Jon. Now, that's just me. I would have pulled Jon, go a headline with either a 185er that is walking around at 205, Romero, and put him in there against Gustafsson with an interim fucking title, since the fucking UFC loves to do interim titles. I don't, but if you want to save it that way, you could do that. Call Romero, but hey, you want to fight Gus? Or Luke Rockhold, you healthy? You at 205? Let's go, right? That would have been my move. Now, just real quick, on Embedded, on the third episode, I think it came out today. And near the end of the episode, they bring Gus in. Gus had just gotten back from the Grand Canyon. They bring Gus into UFC offices, and Dana White goes, look, this is what happened. Nowitzki's with them. They explain the whole thing, and they go, look, it's up to you. If you want to fight him now, great. If you don't, we'll do this in March. And Gus said, okay. Gus is cool with it. So if the guy's going to get in there in the lock cage with him, says, fuck it, then fuck it. Let's go, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Right?
All right.
But yeah, me personally, I pull Jones. I leave it in Vegas. I don't fuck all the fans. In fact, you generate even more goodwill with the fans because the fans are like, oh, good, at least the card's still going down, most of it anyway. So Let's see what's up, right? But this one, yeah, you're taking a hit in the wallet, or at least in the money for as far as the UFC goes, which they got plenty of, whatever, and you're taking a hit as far as goodwill with fans.
Listen,
I want to hear what Fred.
What is the saying in like customer service or whatever? The customer's always right. Yeah. There you go. Right. Look, we're going to take a hit on this event anyways, right?
Right.
But we got two things here that we need to keep happy. Jon Jones. I know a lot of y'all don't like to hear that, but we're the UFC. We don't have a lot of stars right now. And this guy might be the greatest fighter that's ever fucking lived.
That's a good point.
We need to keep him, and we need to get him back in there, and we need to get through this. I know every time we fucking deal with him, we have a hiccup, but if we could get past these hiccups, he's captivating and blase.
Right.
B, and more importantly than A in this scenario, are the fans, our customers. You have to keep your customers happy. So for me, it's worth it to put out, I don't know, $1 million, $2 million to provide whatever's needed. When fans arrive, if you can prove that you were coming there for UFC 232, there will be a bus or a plane that will take you to LA. If your hotel cannot be refunded, we will fucking pay it. We, the UFC, will make sure that you want to spend your money with us again, even if it costs us a lot of money now, because we need goodwill with the fans.
Right.
We need our we need our stars right, because they put asses in seats, and we need asses that are willing to be put in seats. So I feel like we're going to lose some money on 232 now, regardless, and Jon Jones cost us that. But if we can get past this with the prick and he actually wins, we'll make double, triple this on the Brock Lesnar fight in March or April or May or whatever. But we need to keep the fans at least somewhat happy. So we're going to have to put out some money on that. But I need Jon Jones to fight. I need him to fight by the end of the year. And I mean, he fucked us, and we're going to have to, for real, just basically shovel out some money. But we're the UFC. This is what we do. We make money. Sometimes you got to spend some money to make some money. I would put out a large sum and try my best to accommodate the fans in any possible way. Fucking meet and greets. BJ Penn, sorry, homeboy, we've done a lot for you. You're going to have to sign some shit for John this week. We're going to do a lot of shit. Fucking, who we got on the roster that ain't fighting this week? You know what I mean? Fucking DC, fly him in. Fucking all that. You know what I mean? Like, pull out the big guns, man. We had a shit show. Where's the format? In Inglewood, LA?
Yeah, Inglewood.
Look, there you go. Come out, have some fucking fun, bang a couple whores. Like, come to LA. Like, I would be on the horn, getting every name in the UFC. Francis Ngannou, you're cute. Come on out. Like, flex your fucking muscles. Let's do what we can to, you know what I'm saying? You need goodwill with the fans, man. You got to try to do what you can. I wouldn't cancel the show, though,
No.
And I want Jon Jones to fight. So there it is.
Fair enough.
Let me marry that idea that Fred has. And, this will probably sound super crazy, but going with the idea, and I had this idea as soon as it all went down. All right, so you have the opportunity to put Jon Jones in a fight, just not in Nevada, right? So this is what I do. I take all the same stuff the same steps that they're doing now. Book the event at the Forum. Jon Jones is the headliner over there. Blah blah blah. Now you go down the line and you ask maybe like a couple of the guys on a pair of fighters. Let's say 5 sets of fighters, and you ask them which one of you guys are willing to go to LA, which one of you guys want to stay here in T-Mobile. You split up the card. Everybody gets to watch the pay-per-view here. You put a main event. You put Amanda Nunes and Chris Cyborg as the headliner at T-Mobile. As soon as that fight is over, you drop down some big old screens so everybody can watch what's happening live at the Forum.
You Bellator that shit. I
Bellator it. Why? Yeah. Because double the revenue.
Right.
Plus, I keep everybody that had travel plans happy. Now, I also do what Fred said. Those of you that want to see Jon Jones, travel for Jon Jones, you have a ticket. We'll transfer it over to the Forum, and we'll get you some transportation over there, and we'll bring you back. Bam, bam. Everybody's happy with the UFC. We're not angry. We're not talking about this whole USADA pictograms. We're talking about, wow, how awesome is the UFC? I had a ticket. I thought I was screwed. I'm still going to go see Jon Jones. or I'm gonna see Cyborg, and then I'm gonna see Jon Jones on a big screen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, look, if they could pull it, that would be a great idea. And look, the reality is they need something like that. They
Right.
no matter what they do, they need to throw their fans a real bone here, because if not, the one thing you don't want to do is alienate your fan base. Like that's not good on any fucking level, obviously. So,
By the
they
way,
need to do something.
the only thing they've done so far, from what I've seen, is that they gave everybody that had a ticket before a code to be able to purchase tickets earlier than everybody
Today,
else.
right? That was today.
Yeah.
Jesus
To
Christ.
purchase tickets.
But by the way, not sooner than whoever is a platinum VIP. They got the same amount of time to be able to buy tickets as these guys that were basically screwed, and So I mean, it honestly, to me, that's not even a consolation prize.
Yeah, no shit.
Raider says could have saved a lot of trouble by keeping the Anaheim card, the 233 card, in end of January. Could have saved a lot of trouble by keeping the Anaheim card and booking Jones on that card from the jump, so he was already licensed in California. Given Surname says they're not even having a watch party available for the people in Vegas, and I agree with Raider. That's fucked up. You should definitely have a fucking watch party for them.
No shit.
You already have T-Mobile Arena rented out. Bring everybody in there. Put screens down like Jesse was saying. But and they said that Given Surname says that seems like the least they could do. So they don't really give a fuck about their diehard fans, which is true. They're about money, just like Fred said. We got to make money.
I mean, but that's the weird thing, though.
Right.
If you want to make money, you got to keep your fans happy. Like in the long run, like we all want to make money, right? Like don't ever fucking get it twisted. It's always about making money, no matter where you're at, what you're doing. But sometimes you got to lose a little to make a little in the long run. You got to know how to play that fucking game.
Right.
They don't want to. The UFC is not impenetrable. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they can't get fucked up.
Right.
It's not like they can't alienate their fan base. Like the UFC can do some wrong here, man. Like at a certain point, they got to do some damage control.
Let me also put the spotlight on this. I also feel bad for a lot of the media people. Let's say us, we pull our money together and we send one of us, over to Vegas. We book a flight, we book a hotel, we're scrounging, and everything gets changed. For media people that are just barely getting by and rely on not only, let's say, the event to happen, but also the media day, which they took away. Even though they're moving everything over, there's no longer a media day. So a lot of media just had to eat the cost. And now the UFC is also losing in promotion because you rely on the media guys to go out there to get the interviews, to put it on their website, to blow this event up. Granted, they don't need it, but it also helps. You help out the little guy who also props you up, which is also another really bad thing about this whole situation.
Yeah, the one that made me laugh was Luke Thomas got his credentials pulled. But you know how that is, right?
That Jon Jones.
Jon Jones hates that fucking dude. And now can you imagine Luke Thomas in the post-fight presser going like, so you fucking failed, dude. What the fuck? Like, and I don't mind Luke Thomas at all. I'm okay with him, but it's just funny as shit that he got his shit pulled. But last thing on this, Jen on Twitter says, I think he's microdosing as far as Jon Jones goes. Tests are getting better able to catch smaller amounts. I think USADA called it an anomaly because he has provided significant information as far as significant information. I'm assuming that she's talking about the helping out with other cases. Anyway, don't believe this was left over. Level was the same as last time. If same, why isn't it smaller than? Why isn't it a smaller amount 18 months later? Again, a lot of good points left and right, man. It's just no one fucking knows. It's just such a weird,
bro. Jon Jones has got to be the dumbest motherfucker walking this planet if he's still microdosing steroids. Like, I'm not even hip, dog, but does that really work like that? Like microdosing steroids? Does it? I mean, is it okay? Calm down, Jesse. I really, but how beneficial would it be to microdose Turinabol? Like, realistically speaking, now I know I've watched the Joe Rogan podcast. I've thought about microdosing shrooms myself just to maybe see what's going on in my squirrely brain. But that's not quite this, right? Like you can't microdose HGH, can you? Like you can, but the effects won't be the same as if you like actually took this shit like a real this isn't a mental like
Eddie, do you know how that would work with the steroids? Because
I think isn't there like a life, like a certain amount of time of life on the steroids, like 16 hours or something like that?
Okay, but ain't that like if you take a certain amount though, like
I'm not sure
you're supposed to take them, like not fucking microdosing. Like microdose is a tiny fucking dose, right? How much you really getting out of that?
So basically, what you're doing with microdosing, especially in the steroid, is that you're bumping up your levels so minute that over time your body gets accustomed to this boost. So it kind of like goes up to that level. All right. So you're giving yourself an extra little boost, and basically it becomes part of your body's composition. So what you're doing is you're boosting your like, let's say your HGH, your testosterone over such a long period of time. It's like if you were to do it naturally, you know, by deadlifting, all eating better and all this stuff, you naturally can boost your testosterone. But when you microdose, you're able to do it a lot faster, and you're actually able to raise it a lot more. So that's the benefit of being able to microdose this stuff without popping, basically, because it's in such a low dose that it gives you the effect and then gets out of your system very quickly. Now, to what was it, Jen? Was a comment?
Yeah,
is saying is that now the testing is getting so sensitive that even if he is microdosing, they could probably still catch that, and that may be what we're on the precipice of, because right now we're basically dealing with cutting edge technology. You know, this is as good as it can get right now, and we're trying to explain this with our limited understanding of what's going on in the body. You know what I'm saying?
But he just got caught doing the same thing. Right. So it's not like he don't know that they can't catch him microdosing. That happened over a year ago. So y'all telling me that like he's unaware of what these tests are able to analyze? Let me tell you something, Jack. Drug dealers know more about the test than the tests themselves. Whoever's out there selling steroids knows exactly what these tests are able to test for, because if not, how are they supposed to make the steroid to avoid the test?
Well, here's the other thing that I did not know.
So like a year later, I don't think Jon Jones is still if he is, he is a dumb motherfucker, man, because like he's got to be around people who are like, yo, like they're hip to that now. That's how you just got burnt this time, because they can catch you now. How the fuck would he call himself a year and a half later still having micro dosages? We're like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
Fred, here's something interesting that Victor Conte put out the other day. He put out this article that this doctor researched and everything, and this guy wrote up. What was really interesting about that whole thing is that what the USADA testing, what the drug testing does, it basically takes your sample and then compares it against every known substance that would enhance your performance. Now, the thing that's interesting about that is that means that if they change a substance in a certain way that they don't understand or they don't have a test for, you can get away with it for a while until they come up with a test for it, which is how that Icarus guy figured out, you know, how to modify the testing and all that, because he figured out how to test for something. Then he figured out, oh, well, then I can think like this and I can beat this test. I can beat all this other test this way. You see what I'm saying? Right. So the possibility that, and this is where the designer thing comes into play. When you get a designer steroid, it's something that is not in the database, that they do not basically test for until it becomes like something that they find out about and then they figure out a test for. Then that's when they start figuring this stuff out. And like I said, this is cutting edge stuff where they're doing the best they can with the most advanced stuff they can, and they're still trying to figure everything out, which sucks because, you know, it could be a false positive just because it's so sensitive, or it could be, hey, this dude is doing something and now we have a way to test for it.
All right, goddammit. Feet to the fire time, you cocksucker. So what's going on? Did Jon Jones just get caught microdosing twice in a fucking row for the same substance that he now knows, and we all know now that he can get busted for fucking microdosing for?
Yeah. If you put a gun in my head, I say yes.
I think he did, man. But again, you know,
I
If
guess
I wish I was more knowledgeable on it. I really do. I wish I was way more knowledgeable so I could say, like, you know, fuck yeah, he did. But you know what I mean? Like, I think he did. But
that just seems so.
I know. I don't want to believe he's that much of a fucking asshole, but I think he's that much of a fucking
It
asshole.
ain't even an asshole, dog. It's just literal stupidity. You just got called for this a year and a half ago. You know they can catch you. Like somebody just said that he got caught. The levels were higher this time than the first time.
Right.
So I didn't hear this fucking pictogram word that first go around, but let's just say for the sake of argument, that's true. What?
Real quick, let me dispel something that I had to ask about. I saw somebody on Twitter spouting out, you know, that they know the science and all this stuff, and said that they basically said that it's like whatever milliliters of urine, and that the what was it, 50 picograms, and then they did the math, you know, saying
multiplied it.
Okay, that's not how it works, by the way. That's definitely not how it works. So that person is an idiot thinking that he could do simple math with this stuff. I'm not trying to be condescending to this person, but that's not how this works. You know, you're basically just taking a test of a certain amount of fluid and there's a certain amount of stuff in it. That doesn't mean you can just expand it and, you know, the whole swimming pool thing. You take, you know, 5 milliliters of a swimming pool, you test it. Oh, well, you just times that by how many liters are in the pool. No, that's not how it works. That's just how much is in the substance. So before anybody else starts doing their stupid math, please don't.
Please don't.
That actually knows how this stuff works. That's not how it works.
All right, we'll leave it with this one because Jen says, just tweeted on this. She goes, excuse me. She goes, let's put it this way. The Russians are known for microdosing. Yes, it's very effective. Watch the documentary Icarus. And actually, I remember the documentary does talk about that. So definitely check that out. Yeah, so I mean, Robert Sergi says, fuck you, Sada. They're splitting hair now. I bet all of us have some steroids from eating fucked meat.
I mean, to be keeping a buck, if we're talking about some pretty fucking minuscule amounts. Right. And listen, I'll tell you what, Jack, even if microdosing is very effective, Jon Jones is a fucking moron of the greatest magnitude if he's still trying to get away with it. Like, bro, after all the shit you've been through at this point in your career, it's better to just lose.
Is it?
Fuck it. Yeah. I mean, he's going to fuck around and not even get to fight. Like, he's already on thin ice. And look, what if he still loses? I mean, listen, to keep it a buck, it's not like he's just one hitter quitter, just smashing through guys. His performance against OSP wasn't great. He did knock out DC, but it was what, third round? I mean, okay, whatever. Nonetheless, it wasn't like he caught DC with the head kick, but right before the head kick, it wasn't like he was just throwing DC around. He's not like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. It doesn't seem like the juice is worth the squeeze at this point for him to be trying to microdose steroids. Like, bro, just give up the ghost. Fuck it. You're going to fuck around and not even get to compete no more.
Let me ask you this. Was it worth the squeeze for Lance Armstrong to keep doing it for as long as he did?
Now? No. What is Lance Armstrong now but a cheater that owes a bunch of money still?
Right, but at the time, was it not worth it to him?
I mean, at that very time, sure. But, like, was it worth it in the long run? No. And Jon Jones, there's nothing different about him. In the long run, if he keeps this up, like, he's going to not even, like, at least if you get the fight, you get that money. Even if you lose, you still get that bread. You get to finish out your career. He gets fucking, if he actually pops hot again, all this pictogram bullshit, like if it goes up a cunt hair and he gets tested with a fucking real gram and a real dirty test, that's the last time we ever see Jon Jones again. This little bullshit that he pulled this last time with this fucking 2 year and a half, Jack, that was it. His fucking chances are up now. I know pictogram, all the bullshit, but goddamn it, if he fucking gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar again, his fucking career is over. So, I mean, I guess, dog, if he wants to fucking microdose at this point in his career, good luck, buddy. Good fucking luck.
Yeah. At that point, he really does not give a fuck. All right. Joey says, Jon Jones is the tool, king of tools. He's cheating. Fuck his legacy. Maybe. All right, real quick. Let's make our picks for the UFC 232 main card.
By the way, guys,
Wait.
is it crazy that Uriah Hall, a very exciting fighter, is on the Fight Pass prelims? Is that crazy?
No, Uriah Hall
Oh,
kind of
God
fucked
damn
himself
it,
a little
Baby
bit.
J's opening up the Fox fucking Sports One or
Right?
whatever the fuck disrespectful shit he's
Mhm.
doing.
I'm just pointing out that this is a banger of a card for
Oh, it is.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a banger of a card. I mean, Uriah Hall on the Fight Pass, that's just crazy.
yeah. All right. Kicking off the main card, Chad Mendes against Alexander Volkanovski. Real quick, Jesse, your pick.
Volkanovski.
Okay. Fred.
Yeah, listen, man. This is the fucking card of the roid abusers. And if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I'm going with Chad Steroid Mendez. Jack, let's go.
I'm going Chad Mendes too. Light heavyweight bout, Ilir Latifi against Corey Anderson. Fucking what was his nickname? Used to be
25-8.
5'8".
Motherfucker. Now he's overtime Anderson.
Jesus.
Bruh. I'm picking Latifi based off of that because that fucking annoys the fuck out of me. Fred, who are you picking?
Took the words out of my mouth. I can't stand that nickname. What the fuck? Ilir Latifi. Nah, I think Ilir, like, trying to keep it a buck, like, I feel like what Corey Anderson's good at, Ilir Latifi's is better at.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of his game is that grind you up against the fence, get the takedown, grind you out. I don't see that working with Ilir Latifi, Jack. Like, he's a little fucking fire plug. I don't think that Corey Anderson is going to be able to impose his game on him. And plus, Ilir isn't a great striker, but he's strong. He punches hard. So, like, if they get into a little tussle, I can see him rocking Corey Anderson too. So I don't know if he'll finish, but I like Ilir in this fight.
All right, Jesse.
Man, to me, it's kind of a tough pick, but I'm gonna go with Beaston 25-8 or whatever overtime. just because he's smart enough to stay away from what Ilir Latifi is good at. So I think it's going to be a very boring decision by Corey Anderson. Overtime.
All right. Moving on to welterweight division. Interesting fight. Carlos Condit against Michael Chiesa. I'm always down for a Carlos Condit fight, except the dance partner is not necessarily a guy who's going to strike with him for too long. I think Chiesa's going to work on getting this to the ground, which Carlos Condit is quite fucking easy to take down, apparently. And I'm taking Chiesa to tap him out here. Jesse, who are you picking?
Yeah, Chiesa, easy win for him, I would say. I think we're just getting a shell of Carlos Condit at this point after that fight with what was his name? You know who I'm talking about. Lawler,
yeah. I think, honestly, with unless Carlos Condit catches the dude early, I don't know how he can keep him off, keep him from taking him down. Fred.
I feel like I'm on an island with this fight. I feel like everybody is in the same boat with you guys.
Sure, yeah.
And I don't see it like that at all. Chiesa's moving up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, I do not. Are y'all like? What do y'all think Chiesa's going to do? Y'all think he's going to take Carlos down and submit him?
Yeah.
I don't think he's big enough. Like, I know Damian Maia did that, but can y'all think of anybody else that has handled Carlos Condit on the ground like that?
Rory McDonald.
Yeah,
good example. Do we think that Chiesa is Rory fucking McDonald?
No one said that. No one said that.
I don't know. But I don't think Chiesa's big enough, dog. I think Carlos is a big 170. I know he's been out for a long time. I think Chiesa or Carlos hurts Chiesa on the feet.
Sure.
And either TK. Yeah, I think he'll hurt him, drop him, and finish him. I don't think this is a good matchup for Chiesa. I could be wrong. I'm really bad at picking fights. Chiesa very, very well could come in and get the takedown, and Carlos could look like shit and be trying to collect one more check for his fucking coffee beans or whatever the fuck. But I feel like, at least in my mind, from what I remember of the Natural Born Killer, I feel like he's going to come out and slaughter. I don't think Chiesa's big enough. I don't think his striking's good enough, and I feel like Carlos is crafty enough off of his back to at least not get submitted. I mean, I know Damian Maia did his thing, but I just don't think Chiesa's big enough to do that.
What was Condit's last fight? Was it the Damian Maia fight?
It was either Lawler or Maia, was it? No, it wasn't the Woodley fight where he blew out his fucking, or no, because he came back after that, right?
Yeah, he came back. No, and he took a long time off. He took a long time off, opened up a juice bar somewhere in fucking Albuquerque.
Coffee.
A coffee bar. Alex Oliveira submitted him
Yes,
at UFC on Fox 29.
See that's why a lot of people are seeing it the way.
Yo,
Last performance against Oliveira was just
Fair enough.
yo, hey, Carlos Condit. I didn't realize he was riding a 4-fight losing streak.
yeah.
To
Damn.
who though? To who though?
Well, okay. UFC 195 back in 2016. Robbie Lawler, split decision, close ass fight.
Right.
And then Damian Maia submitted him in the first round at UFC on Fox 21.
That was a bummer.
Later that year in August. Then he took over a year off and fought at UFC 219 against Neil Magny. Lost a decision fight. And then he got submitted in a guillotine choke second round by Alex Oliveira this last April.
Well, the Brazilian Cowboy's a beast. The only one I hold against him is that goddamn no Magny loss. But
yeah, it was a decision. So, and it was actually a pretty rough fight, honestly.
By the way, real quick segue. I know you teased it in the promo, Eddie.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the Brazilian Cowboy getting blown up by a grenade?
Dude, what the fuck? Okay, you think after who's telling me this? Was it you or someone else on Twitter telling me that after Shogun got fucked up or robbed or whatever, that you would think that Brazilian fighters would be like, you know what, fuck Brazil, I'm out. Somebody said that shit on Twitter. Like, you would think Brazilian fighters would be like, fuck this. Like, I'm gonna stop making fun of Chris Cyborg and Anderson Silva for bailing on this motherfucker. I'm out. You would think, but no, not at all.
motherfuckers love home though, man. It ain't nothing like that.
Nothing like exactly.
Yeah, but if I gave Fred $1 million, I'm sure he wouldn't be in Dayton anymore.
Don't be so sure about that.
I think he'd go to Columbus.
I would go like right between. But real shit, I probably would never like if I got rich, I would never leave. Like I would leave Dayton, like, but I wouldn't go like terribly far. I wouldn't move to LA or no bullshit like that. Like I would
okay. Here's a story. Born and raised in Tres Rios in Brazil, a small town located 80 miles from Rio de Janeiro. This is according to MMAfighting.com, by the way. The fighter known as the Cowboy went to buy gasoline for his mother's car Monday night when he saw members of his family involved in an altercation. How big is his fucking family? And then Oliveira stopped his car. Moments later, a grenade was thrown in his direction. What the fuck?
So basically, I think I read that it was a cousin of his that was getting beat up.
Somebody Call of Duty his ass.
And basically everybody started pulling out weapons. I think they were saying that some people had guns, machetes, and then the grenade that landed near his foot blew near his foot and everything.
So wait, okay. How badly injured is he? Will he ever fight again? Is he okay?
He's on his foot and he's having surgery to
here's the quote.
Okay, so he's okay.
Right, here's the quote. Oliveira told the website at the TV Rio Sud, whatever, says that one guy came up and pointed a gun at my nephew's face, and that's when people started pushing each other. They had machetes, knives, a grenade. They threw a grenade in my direction. Fragments flew to my leg and my foot. Went to a local hospital, underwent a small surgery on his leg to remove the fragments. He went to police later that day to help officers understand what happened. So yeah, he's fine.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bummer still, but
it's just a wild fucking story.
A crazy headline. What the fuck?
It's just a wild fucking story, though.
I'm just saying, like I live near, like, well, over here in LA, we have Compton, we have Inglewood, those really bad places.
Right.
I've never heard of an altercation where a grenade gets thrown at somebody.
There's no fucking prepper white people live in fucking Compton. You get one of those motherfuckers to come out and be like, he be throwing grenades too. I bet you all those fuckers had grenades.
Listen, god damn it. Motherfuckers think Compton and all this shit is rough. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's rough. When you get to a fucking third world country, the motherfuckers be goddamn it holding them big boy ass mortar fucking goddamn missile launchers and shit.
Yeah. Hey. Fucking that dude that was working on Narcos Mexico the first time, looking for spots in Sinaloa to fucking film at. That dude got killed for taking pictures. Okay,
right. The motherfuckers don't be bullshitting down there. That's why I'm going. If you can't call, goddamn it, the police, Daddy Fred ain't going.
100%. Yeah, hell yeah.
Fuck that.
All right, Jesse. So you picked Fred picked Carlos and me and
Condit. Y'all. Yeah. I was surprised that everybody thinking Condit's going to get smashed. So we'll see next week whether I'm right or all you pricks are right.
Well, look, I don't think it'll be easy, but I think I just think it's what happens. All right, co-main event: big fight, champion versus champion, which honestly isn't getting as much publicity as I thought it would, but especially now with Jon Jones being the big fucking story. But Chris Cyborg, the 145 featherweight champ, taking on the bantamweight champ Amanda Nunes. Cyborg's featherweight belt on the line. So we're looking at a possible first female champ. there's been a lot more discussion about like who could win this fight than I thought there would be. And I honestly find myself kind of like I'm pulling for Amanda Nunes. And I think she's going to put up a hell of a fucking fight. But I think Cyborg's still going to win. You know what I mean? Like, I just have a hard time saying Nunes is going to beat her unless she knocks her out. I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle here. I'm going to go with Cyborg just because it's fucking Cyborg. Fred, who you picking?
Listen, I done told y'all, this is the card of the fucking cheats. I'm picking Cyborg. Fuck it. Can't beat them, join them.
Yeah.
And Pete Ho's going to beat the... Look, at the end of the day, all jokes aside, you got to pick Cyborg, right? I mean, you could pick Amanda Nunes and say that her size and speed could matter. Cyborg's maybe never fought nobody that hits as hard as her. There's some things that you could point at that
Sure.
might play into this. Angles, Amanda Nunes's boxing and aggressiveness, lots of things. Overall, though, Cyborg has got to be your fucking pick. I mean,
Probably, yeah.
you know, look, she's bigger. She seems more well-rounded. And, you know, to be fair, the bitch don't really gas like that.
No.
I mean, I think she's a cheating motherfucker. I just think we ain't caught her yet. I'm sorry, but I just, like, I stick with that. I think she be cheating. But, like, she's fucking a pretty great fighter. Like, when you get past that, her hands are nasty. Her Muay Thai is nasty. She's good on the ground. She doesn't get extremely tired. I mean, unless Amanda Nunes fucking pieces her up early with some good hard shots, it's Cyborg's fight to lose.
Yeah, I'm with it. Jesse?
Damn. Okay. Now the reverse. Now I'm seeing Fred off on that boat with everybody else, and I'm jumping on the island over here.
Yeah.
All right.
I just think everything that Fred said is exactly why I'm picking Amanda Nunes. I think she's got the speed, she's got the agility, and the thing that I've noticed over time now is that Amanda Nunes finally knows how to work her body. In sense that if you look at her previous fights before she became a champion and before all that, she would gas out very quickly because she would just give it a big go, and then after that she would just have nothing left in the tank. Her Raquel Pennington fight proved that she can just keep a steady pace of punishment without gassing out, and that fight before as well. And she's also one of the I think didn't she take who was it? Damn it, I forgot. One of these other girls too. Just a brutal beating that she gave one of her previous opponents. But in either case, I just think that the reason that Cyborg is so feared is because she's the front runner. She's always been the front runner. And if you take what happened to her in Muay Thai against what was it, Jarina Bars, who just put a massive beating on her, even though Cyborg was still in that fight, still attempting to throw back, she was just not the same aggressive, nasty Cyborg that we were used to back then. And now you look forward, Cyborg still has not blossomed into that nasty, you know, just like bull rusher that would just come in and utterly obliterate her opponent. And I think that's what's going to cause her a lot of problems in this fight. If Cyborg returns to form and comes out guns a-blazing and puts it on Amanda Nunes in the first round, she will definitely be the one to just bring the bigger storm. But if she can't, or if she's too, you know, in her head about being technical and all this stuff, she's going to get blown out of the water by Amanda Nunes, who now knows how to really work her game plan. So I'm saying Amanda Nunes, third or fourth round TKO.
All right, finish.
I hope you're right.
I hope you're right too.
I would like to see Amanda Nunes win this fight. If I'm trying to fucking call these shots right here, I got to go with Cyborg's funny.
Uncle Hank says, take a drink every time Jesse agrees with Fred. So knock him back. And then, we got a Nick Pilecki sighting. Holy shit, Nick X Micro. Amanda looks so calm coming into this fight. What up, Nick? Anyway.
He's alive.
Homeboy's thriving. I'm not gonna put his personal business out there, but Nick is a happy little camper these days, and I'm happy for him. So good shit, boy. Keep it up. All right, we're running out of time. So main event: Jon Jones against Alexander Gustafsson. Roided or not, this fight's going down. Gus said, "Fuck it, let's fight." So we're fighting. Main event for the lightweight belt, the vacator. As soon as he get in the cage, DC's getting stripped. Oh man, Jon Jones, Alex Gustafsson. Jesse, who you picking?
Jon Jones.
I knew as soon as you took a breath, oh, this guy's gonna be like,
Look,
fuck.
look. I just think Gustafsson is so confident in what he did in the first fight. He's taking
Years ago.
so much like what he did in that first fight, and he's applying it to today. And he thinks that what he has today is enough to beat the guy that he fought back then. And I think we have a different Jon Jones, and especially with everything that's happened this week, I think that we're gonna have a Jon Jones that is motivated to put a stamp on this week and end the week on a high, and kind of try to put it behind himself. And I think the way he was able to dismantle DC in the second fight, and he was able to pick up on all the tells, I think. And here's the thing: I think the stat is that a lot of people are picking Gustafsson because they're saying that he's the more active fighter. I believe Jon Jones has fought sooner than Gustafsson, correct? I think Gustafsson has been
I'll find out for you.
Than Jon Jones. I believe that's correct. So that being the case, I've got to go with Jon Jones.
Okay. Real quick on the YouTube comments, Uncle Hank says 2 drinks when Fred agrees with Jesse. So you know that doesn't happen that often, so I'm okay with that.
And now we're getting now the fucking game's getting fun.
Yeah. All right, Jones fought DC for the second time in July of last year. And Gus fought Glover Teixeira in May of last year. So by a little bit of time, a couple months. Yeah.
And realize that one was because of suspension, and one was because he just didn't want to
wait.
Yeah. So
yeah. All right. Nick goes, fuck Jon Jones. Yeah. All right, Fred, who are you picking?
All right, now listen. Shout out to the Loudmouth MMA podcast.
Kyle, what
this
up, Kyle?
Week, shout out to Kyle. This week, me and him, we rewatched the first fight and did a little companion on it. And you know, it's funny when you watch these fights live. At least for me, I'm never like judging the fight. I'm paying attention, but I'm just kind of watching as a fan. So I'm not paying great attention. You know what I'm saying? Going back and rewatching it this time, looking from a different perspective, it was really eye-opening. I felt like the fight was a little closer when I watched it live. When I watched it the second time, I felt like Jon Jones clearly won the fight. Did Gus do good in the fight? Sure. He had his moments. But like looking back on the fight, he never hurt Jones seriously. He never rocked him. He never dropped him. Jon Jones walked him down the entire fight. If you go back and watch that fight, like Alexander was clipping Jon, but Jon looked like the fucking Terminator. He just kept coming at him, and he never once did his knees even get wobbled. Gus landed a lot of shots, but I seen nothing going back and rewatching that fight. I seen nothing in that first fight that makes me think that this fight will be that much different. And the only person that almost got finished in that first fight was Gus. In that fourth round, when he caught him with that spinning back elbow, Gus was low key. You know, if that fight would have went another 30 seconds, Jones probably would have finished him. There was never a moment like that for Gus in the fight. He never had Jones metaphorically on the ropes. You know what I mean? He was landing shots, but Jones was never fazed by any of them. So all that being said, you know, Teeter Central, baby, Jon Jones. What are you gonna do?
Man, I'm rooting for Gus. I'm hoping Gus somehow pulls this off and shit, right? But what was this fight? A little over 5 years ago?
Yep.
You're telling me, if you're Gus, you're telling me you're confident because of the fight 5 years ago and because you think you've gotten better. And I agree, he's gotten better. But we've seen Jon Jones do some crazy shit since then, right? Other than, you know, the drugs and all that. But that fight with DC told me a lot. Now, the fact that he caught DC with that high kick, right? He kept, you know, throwing that kick middle and everything, and kept DC, you know, getting DC do this shit down, and then he switched to the high kick and rocked him. Genius. Gustafsson 6'5", probably taller than Jones by like a tiny bit. Okay, that's not gonna work. But what that tells me, he can figure you out during the fight. He's up here. He's smart. He's good.
He landed a couple head kicks on Gus in that first fight.
Yeah,
not hard, not with the chin, but he can hit Gus's head. Yeah, he does. Look, sorry to cut you off, Eddie.
Go ahead.
I just want to get it. Like again, like that fight's fresh on my mind, man. What was obviously apparent in that first fight to me too, which I'm not like breaking any fucking boundaries with this, but Gus is a better boxer and Jones is a better striker.
Yep.
So I feel like maybe if Gus can keep it in that boxing range, this might be a different conversation. But if he allows Jones to be creative with the strikes, it's gonna be a long night for Gus.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's a good point. Jon Jones. Jon Jones. You know what I mean? I look for Gus to try and do what DC did and clinch and throw uppercuts. That boxing's gonna be there if you can keep it very, very close, right? But at that point, you got to watch out with John's elbows, which might as well be fucking overhand rights and fucking jabs. Those elbows have a life of their own. So
that's another thing we have to keep in mind here, man. Jones didn't get one takedown in that first fight. If he does get a takedown, which isn't out of the realm of possibility, Gus did a great job in that first fight. But goddamn it, if he's not on his P's and Q's and Jones gets one, is there let's take the cheating out of the fucking conversation just for a moment, man, because believe me, nobody wants to call John a cheater more than me. But just for the sake of discussion here, is there anybody more dangerous in this sport to be under than Jon Jones? If that dude gets on top of you, it is. I mean, who has he not been on top of that he didn't beat the fucking dog shit out of? Like that dude is not boring in nobody's guard. If he gets on top of you, he is going to fuck you up.
Look, man, other than Cain Velasquez, I wouldn't want to be under Jon Jones.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be under Cain or Jones, either one. Both those guys will fuck your world up.
I still have nightmares of that elbow that he hit Brandon Vera with.
Right.
I swear to God, dog. Like that was from the guard too. I'd never seen nothing like that.
Fuck, dude.
Jones was freaky.
This game's getting crazy, and if this fucker keeps evolving, roids or not, it's gonna be fucking scary. Especially if he goes to heavyweight. When he goes to heavyweight, that shit's coming. Please believe. All right. Let's check out the headlines here before we go. Oh yeah, Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt's criticism of Dana White on the 232 thing was fucking hilarious. If you haven't found it, go to Mark Hunt's Instagram.
Yo, look.
Shit was funny. I'd say it was funny.
And it was hilarious, but I gotta keep it a buck. Mark Hunt definitely sounds like a scorned side chick. Like,
he does.
And every time something happens, see, I told y'all, can't stand the UFC. They bullshit.
I told you he ain't shit. I told you he ain't shit.
I told you. You just know. I mean, look, and to be fair, he's got a point. He's right. Yeah. But I swear I was reading that thing like he'd be so bitter. Like Mark Hunt is not happy about the way this shit ended. He is letting us all fucking know that he's bitter.
Yeah. And I'm totally okay with whether he's right. And I know he's right, but I'm okay with it. It's hilarious. All right. California State Athletic Commission will extend the UFC 232 official weigh-in window due to event location change. Yep, good. Should do it. The Herb Dean injured out of UFC 232 refereeing duties. That's fucking hilarious. I want to know what the fuck happened with that. Hopefully he's okay, obviously.
The dude with the Yosemite Sam is going to be taking his place.
Mike Beltran.
After what happened with, well, he's a good guy. It's just his last performance with the Frank Mir thing, where Frank Mir lost his
his mouthpiece and got his jaw murdered.
Yeah, because of Mike Beltran not wanting to stop the action there.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I think we'll be all right. I think that was just I hope. Look, Beltran's a good dude. He's good. He's a good ref, so I hope he'll be fine. All right.
Plus, he's kind of a badass. If you've ever seen him in real life, he likes.
Yeah, he was in that commercial with the one chick that was like arm wrestling dudes. He was in that. I think that was pretty funny. All right, and then Francis Ngannou against Cain Velasquez is official, and it was announced as the main event for UFC on ESPN in Phoenix. Cain, make it to that shit because I'm going, motherfucker. All right, you better make it to that fucking shit.
All right, so real quick, who do you guys think they'll replace Cain with for that fight?
I fucking hate you so much. I hate you so much. Like, you know what?
Yeah, I don't even want to discuss that because I think they're gonna. I think we're all fucking putting a lot of stock in. Listen, in a weird way, not like they're the same situation at all, but in a weird way, there are some similar comparisons to Jon Jones in that this is it for Cain. Like, not it, but like he needs to perform here. Like him getting hurt and then being out for another year would be fucking detrimental to his career and his legacy.
Or he's got to show that he can make it. He can make it to a fight healthy.
Yeah, he really does.
Or like Dominic Cruz, also who, what was it? His shoulder, or what was it?
Yep, it's a shoulder. That's what the word is. Yep. They said a year he'll be out.
Yeah, what was it, like 13 or 16 months or something to heal, rehab that? something stupidly long. Poor guy, man. I feel for the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably going to have one of the more sadder careers looking back on it. I mean, goddamn. Talk about somebody having bad luck. What the fuck? He's in that bad luck category too.
All right. Anything else we got to hit on before we go? Because I literally got to fly out of here.
Nope, that's it.
Just next week we're doing the awards.
End of year awards next week, ladies and gentlemen. So we got a little bit of a format change. Jesse figured some shit out that's actually pretty cool. We will reveal that next week.
Yeah, and look, since we're here, quickly before we go, 2 seconds to you pricks too. Instagram can kiss my ass. I'm completely banned off that platform, so I've taken the show to Snapchat, cocksuckers. If anybody still has a Snapchat, Gym City Jesus, all one word. Come fucking follow me there, and let's have some fun and shit.
That's it. God. There you go.
There you go.
Talk about Snapchat now. All right.
It's gonna be one of those like follow my Snapchat like for a premium.
That's right.
Swipe up premium.
Fucking premium snap too for all you nasty hooers out there.
The funny thing is they went after those chicks for having that, but they went with the IRS thing. Those motherfuckers that like they couldn't afford it. They got all mad and shit. They're like, I'm sending the IRS on you. Like, fuck you. Just leave them alone.
Always some
shit. Always. All right. Shout out to Lemon. Raider Jeb was in the comment section. Joe Tremendous hanging out with us the whole night. The Raider was hanging out the whole night too. Given Surname Trading Blows is here. David Copperfield's Love Chow was here. He called you Colonel Kirby for whatever reason. Anyway.
I know.
Yeah. Let's see who else we have. Robert Zersey's Uncle Hank. Nick X Micah was the man tonight hanging out. So at least we know you alive, motherfucker. We know you're alive, which is good. And Robert Cersei's he's letting us go with stay positive, guys. John does. There you go. Jon Jones, the positive motherfucker. All right. Yes, sir. All right. Like Kirby said, follow him on Snapchat at Gym City Jesus, all one word. And his Twitter handles at Kirby_MMA. Jesse's at Ep.127. I'm at Ela31. And the show is at Keyboard MMA. SpicePros.com. Use Keyboard MMA for 10% off. RepTheWarriors.com. Get yourself some represent gear ASAP. And Merry Christmas to all you motherfuckers. We love you guys because of the shit. And we're not going to see you till after New Year's. So Happy New Year. Get crazy. Not too crazy. Don't draft. Just fucking stay home and get crazy. All right.
Yeah, please.
All right. For myself, Jesse and Fred. Catch you motherfuckers next week. Good night, Wilshire.